It's causing you problems to actually help you to fix your problems by doing some stretches for those hip flexors.
What's up? 筋肉翻訳です。さあ今日は5分でできる腰痛改善と動作改善のためのストレッチ見ていきましょう。腰痛抱えていませんか？現代人は腰に負担がかかりやすい姿勢になっている人が多いです。姿勢はストレッチなど筋肉の伸び縮みを使って改善することが可能です。これを続けることで腰痛の直接的な原因かもしれない筋肉を伸ばして改善に向けることができます。今回は5分でできる方法をラッドさんが教えてくれています。早速見ていきましょう。どうぞ。
If you sit at a desk all day long and suffer lower back pain, then you need to watch this video. Lower back pain that's associated with prolonged sitting is more common than you may think. It's something that I've suffered with for a long time, but there are a few key action steps that you can take right now and do them daily that can greatly reduce your lower back pain. What's really important to understand about lower back pain associated with seating is what's going on when you're sitting down. So if you look at this posture as I'm sitting here, the first thing to notice is the hip flexion that I'm sitting in. So there's a real shortening that's going on in the muscles that are associated with hip flexion. The other thing is that often people are really slouching. So the muscles in their core, the deep core muscles, are not doing what they're meant to, which is to be holding the spine up in a nice and healthy position. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to show you guys how to use the seat, the thing that's causing you problems, to actually help you to fix your problems by doing some stretches for those hip flexors. So what you want to do is come down like this, get on the ground so you're nice and comfortable, bring one leg up against the seat, okay? Now the further away that your knee is from the seat, the more gentle the stretch is. The closer that your knee is to the seat, the more aggressive the stretch is. So from here, the first thing that you want to do is to just lean forward like this. And you can actually use your hand on another seat if you struggle from balance. But the idea here is to drive this knee as far forward as possible so that you pull this leg back and it's going to open up the hips there and you're going to get a really great stretch in the hip flexor muscles. So the second stretch that you want to do is you want to tuck those hips forward, push back like this so that you're feeling a stretch still in the front of the hip, but this is targeting more the rectus femoris, part of the quadricep. So the whole reason that we do that stretch is that if you think about it, if your hip is sitting in this position and that hip flexor is getting shortened, then what happens when you stand up is the hip flexor pulls the front of the pelvis down like this and it puts excessive pressure on the lower back. So for me, in my case, when I do that stretch alone, it makes a huge difference to reducing lower back pain. The next thing that we want to look at is the hamstrings. The hamstrings also become very tight from sitting down. So what you want to do for a hamstring stretch, just a really basic one, try to keep the knees straight and just try to lean forward like this as far as you can go. Now a lot of you guys will only be able to go to here, but you want to make sure that you don't round your back. You need to look at yourself in the mirror so that you're aware of just coming down like this. You can rest your hands on your knees, rock from one side to the other, and that's a really good stretch for the hamstrings to loosen them up a bit. And the next thing that we want to do is to go into the glutes and the internal rotators of the hip. So this is called the 90-90 stretch. You put your front leg and back leg at a 90-degree angle. And the first one that you want to do whilst trying to keep a straight spine, so you don't want to round your back, we're just going to lean forward over that front leg and gently rock side to side. And if you're doing this correctly, you're going to feel it in your glutes or your bum on the front leg. The next one we're going to do is to come around like this and open up. And this gets into the inside of the hip on the back leg, okay? So from here you can come back down further if you want to, but a lot of you will only be able to get to here. So those are the major muscle groups to stretch to help with lower back pain that I've found have really helped me. And what I recommend is that if you sit down for 2 hours, get up, do those stretches, all of them. The hip flexors, the hamstrings, the internal and external rotators, do them for about 30 seconds each. It'll take you less than 5 minutes and it'll have a massive impact on your lower back pain. Good luck!
さあ、いかがでしたでしょうか？僕もこのストレッチをパーソナルのお客さんであったり自分自身でも行うんですが、普段伸ばしづらい筋肉をかなり強く伸ばすことができます。行う際の注意点としては、関節の際が伸びてしまっている時は負荷を弱めること、ぐいぐい動かすのではなくじわーっと同じ圧でゆっくりと伸ばしてあげること、この2つを重視しておくとしっかり伸ばすことができます。これができていないと逆に痛めてしまったり硬くなってしまうことがあります。みんなはどんなストレッチが好みですか？コメント欄で教えてください。 僕は手を後ろに回して胸を張る。これで胸周りや首周りを伸ばすことが好きです。最後まで見ていただいてありがとうございます。感想や動画のリクエスト、チャンネル登録お待ちしてます。ではまた。
I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate to call me back. 'Cause I won't